So today told you guys I'm going to give you an update. I'll keep updating you with all the medical issues as they come up. I didn't do it at the time as they were coming up, but I'm going to do it now. This way, as they come up, you guys will be along. So my new journey will not just be what's going on, but with the medical issues. So I have a form of scoliosis. That's why I'm in physical therapy. Today, they didn't find anything neurologically wrong. They didn't find anything wrong with the MRI or the scan. So I guess that's good, but I still wonder why I have the pain and the swelling on the top of my head. It's usually on this side. I feel it today, right now over here, but it's usually on this side. But I don't know why. I'll continue to look into that, and I have a referral for a neurologist, so that's good. I have cysts in my breasts. I told you guys a while back that they insisted that the cysts were only in my left breast because they invaded my privacy and they found out that I had cysts in my left breast, but it's also in my right breast. So I have to go for a mammogram for 6 months, and then 6 months after that, a sonogram. So I made it clear that I would prefer to have it biopsied because that's a lot. It's a lot to have to keep following up and not knowing when. I'm 49, so I think it's time to have a biopsy. I had a really great dermatologist at NYU who took out, I had steatocystoma cysts, which are fatty tissue tumors. She took them out and she biopsied them, and it wasn't a hard process for me. So I would really like a biopsy for the breast because it would put my mind at ease. The other part of this is that I have fibroids, and I think at least one myoma. And that's hard to, all of these things are painful. So I'm telling you guys as things are going on and as I'm getting results and trying to get, this figured out. I feel that, if my body's creating cysts, I want to know why and how to resolve it. Now, when they were first attacking me, they said, well, some of these issues you had before. I know, but I didn't have scoliosis before, and that's new. I also didn't have them talking to me and banging and drilling and following me and telling me that they said they hit me. They said every mark on my body, every cyst is a bullet wound. So I didn't have that before. So they admitted it and acknowledged it. So I'm telling you folks, if someone says something, then either they're lying when they say it, and they just not. So I don't know if you'll hear that in the video, but I checked my videos when I was at the ER, and I heard the sounds and noises. So I'm sure if you're watching, you hear the sounds and noises also. So if someone's telling me that every hit on me is a bullet wound or shot, they also said they're going to go for what they call a kill shot. Again, if that's what they feel, that's what they feel. And I'm okay with that. So be it. That, they try to blame it on my Fashion Fund Femme Twitter account. It had nothing to do with the Fashion Fund Twitter account. Fashion Fund Twitter account it has my name on it. They said they did this because they wanted to cover up the fact that during the time I was writing that they weren't, and they thought I would give them credit for that account. But a lot of the issues that I supported, they don't support. I'm a Democrat. I've been a Democrat since I was 18, and they're not. And they said they supported Trump. I didn't support Trump. I was actually not for Trump. The issues that I supported things that were important to me and still are. One thing that I protested against was against the child separation policy, where we, as a country, we were taking children away from their parents at the border and putting them in separate facilities and detention from their parents. That's different from children coming without their parents. Now, here's the difference. The difference is if you arrive on our soil, we do not take children away unless it's an unsafe circumstance. And that has to go through, and I used to use the word a lot, it has to be adjudicated, meaning it has to be a court process. It cannot just be, I'm going to take someone's child from him or her when they are on American soil. We don't do that. And that's something I really fought for, not only on Twitter, but I went to protests about that. The next thing that I support is I support the rights of victims. I'm a victim, And they said, well, would you tell the police who's victimizing you? Yes. Yes, I support victims' rights. That's the whole point. I'm not somebody who supports the rights of the person victimizing someone. I support the victim. And part of that is that during the process of all this, they said, well, did you out Ghislaine Maxwell with the Jeffrey Epstein? How could I out something I didn't know? It was in the media and people tweeted about it. That's common knowledge. And this is what I'm telling these folks. If they have an issue reading my Twitter feed, then they shouldn't want to take credit for my Twitter feed. So during the process of my tweeting, people would reply and, I would reply. So I said that it seemed like Ghislaine Maxwell was the person who had more, I guess, authority in the relationship with Jeffrey Epstein because she came from a wealthier family. She introduced him. She was able to do things that he wasn't able to do. And they're talking about that, and they said that there's going to be some sort of breaking news about that. Now, again, this is my issue with them. If you want credit for my work, then you have to find my work, respond to my work, just like a bot would. Find exactly what I said when I said it, quote tweet me and reply. Either pro, meaning you agree with what I said, or con. That was part of what was good about my Fashion Fun Femme account. I did respond to people who had opposing views. That's what I did. I thought that was clear to anyone who followed Fashion Fun Femme. The other reason they wanted Fashion Fun Femme was because I was fortunate enough to get followers who had blue checks, meaning they were official. And I was grateful for that. But once this happened, I made sure to try to get rid of as many followers as I could, unfollow as many people as I could, because I didn't want this issue to then reflect on those people. And that's part of what's going on. The other thing about Fashion Fun Femme, what was the other point they said? I thought Trump's actions were treasonous. Of course I did. Yes, I thought his actions were undemocratic. We live in a democracy. In a democracy, we don't take people's children from them. We don't call football players SOBs, especially when you are the president of the United States. We don't publicly slam people if you don't have the facts. And that's the difference between Fashion Fun Femme and these people. Fashion Fun Femme, I made sure to have my facts. So the last point that they brought up is, I didn't think January 6th was a coup. And I still don't think it was a coup. In the United States, in order to have a coup, you would need to have the ability to completely destroy our democracy with some sort of support other than a protest. Now, what I mean by that, I mean maybe military support, the officials in the government refusing to leave office, which Trump tried to do, but he was unsuccessful because our democracy held up. But I knew that it would be a violent day. And I think that the ability to rile up people and make them act violently for an issue is a problem. But it's not a problem just for like regular folks. For us, it's not that big of a deal. It's a problem when the president of the United States does it. That's an issue. So if I say to you guys, hey, let's do blah, 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 you can say, who are you? But when the president does it, it sounds like it's a government mandate, and that's dangerous. So what I'm telling the people who disagree with that is that, to me, a coup means you have the ability to overthrow the government. And thankfully, in the United States, we have made sure that no one had the ability to overthrow the government. Does that mean that it may be possible? And at some point, I hope not. But our democracy has withstood so many attempts to destroy it. And I will never give anyone credit for having the ability to destroy it. We have a good military that's separate. We have a good legislation that's separate. And we have a good judiciary that's separate. And those separate branches of our government are strong enough to keep our democracy going, as long as we keep an eye on them That's my point. That's what Fashion Fund Film was about. It was about keeping an eye on the government when we had a president who I felt did not honor our democracy. So that's why I am Fashion Fund Femme. That is why, even though I'm sick and I'm going through this and they're punishing me, I will continue to keep an eye on government. I will continue to keep an eye on people who attack people and victimize people. And I will continue to talk about issues where I feel victims don't get the attention they deserve and that they obviously will need in order to support what they're going through. So the other point about this is that they feel that they are going to find every flaw in my life and contrast it with what I've said in the past. They claim that I have family members who are involved in prostitution. That is a lie. That is a complete bold-faced lie. And I challenge them to name the family members I have involved in prostitution. They lied and said, they always lie and say things. They completely lie, but they don't print it. I'm telling you, instead of lying and say it, at me on Twitter, name the family member I have that's involved in prostitution. I don't have a family member involved in prostitution, but if I did, I would support that person because that person would need support. Just like I felt that the people who claim that they are caring about me and want me to get in touch with me would have supported me during this time in my life. That's hypocrisy. I'm not a hypocrite. Anyone who has any questions about how I feel on politics, feel free to at me. I'm responding to my comments on YouTube. I think that most of my comments are clear and no one would have any questions about it. Now, they also have a problem with being able to understand when I phrase things a certain way. Well, they shouldn't have hit me in the head. Thanks for watching. I'll upload more videos soon.